Well, so we got a Weber carb used. Needs to be rebuilt for the Isuzu pickup, little beater truck. Went and got herself a little gasket kit, a few things, put it together. And this book with a million different little parts and stuff to play with, but figure this should help the old Isuzu maybe run a little bit better. So we'll get this thing torn apart and see how it goes. It's really not a bad little carburetor. I tore into it just a little bit to get a look at it before the gasket kit came, and it's rather simple. I believe they're manufactured originally in Spain, but they're mostly sold in the UK and the US, but we'll see what this little spicy Spanish pepper can do for the Isuzu. Anyway, we'll get after it, see how it goes. These carbs are really pretty simple. That's kind of the nice thing about it. It takes see the flathead screws. Maybe that helps to control from over torquing it if you actually got some ugga-duggas going on. But anyway, remove them 6 screws. That fuel inlet is a 14. She got a little filter at the bottom of it. That's a 19, but as you see, it's super close. So you're gonna have to use an open end wrench to probably get on that, unless you got a thin wall or something. But really, that's the basics for just starting to tear it apart. Super simple. So here we go. So we got we got these 6 screws out. But another thing to be very careful of is that little circlip right there. You don't want to drop it. I mean, it will go down there and you can get it back out, but you do not want to lose this guy. I've heard they're kind of hard to get to. I've already started to pull it off a little bit, as you see, but just wanted to highlight you want to be very careful with those little things. Then you just got to get this little piece off of there. These giant fat fingers. Trying to get it off. I guess we'll use some tools. It's what separates us from savages, I guess, is the ability to use them. So with that, the top of this old girl comes right off. She's a little dirty. We'll check the floats. Make sure the height is okay. I believe it's 18 millimeter, I was told, to the top of this. So we'll get the old ruler out and we'll check her out. But I mean, she's pretty damn clean. I got this old girl from a mechanic. Was cleaning out a shop. You can see, like, it looks like, he said it was sitting on the shelf for a couple years, but it looks like he cleaned it almost before he shelved it, because, I mean, either that or there was no ethanol even going near this damn thing, which is great. If you're getting into carburetors, that stuff gums up everything and leaves all this green, crappy residue and makes it hell to work on, but, or at least clean. But anyway, there's some of our jets. Yeah, we'll take them out, make sure there's nothing in the orifices. I'm willing to bet there's probably nothing anywhere, but we'll go ahead and go through this thing just to make sure she's good. And we'll replace the accelerator pump and stuff too, so yeah, here we go. Well, hell, while I was tearing apart that carburetor and working on it, there was a little knock at the door from a delivery driver. What's inside this big old box? Would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? Looks like we got our some of our adapter kit, so it'll work well with our little Isuzu setup. Excellent. I believe there's also, yeah, there it is. I'd much rather had like the one piece adapter like old Puddin' and his channel is always talking about, but I had a hard time finding it, so I just went for this old 2-piece, and we'll just give her the gaskets and some torques, and hopefully she'll hold air and not let any of it leak. But I'm excited as all hell. We got the adapter plates, the rebuild kit going. Everything is fantastic. What a great freaking day. Anyway, back to wrenching on this float. We're going to replace the needle seats. I'm already pulled them out of the float. We got some new stuff over here, and at least Redline kind of packages it all in this little vacuum tubing. You pull it right out, but your jets and everything are going to be right in there. So, or for the needle and seat, not jets. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and keep working on this thing, pull that out, and get this thing fixed up here tonight. And don't forget, when you put the top back on, got to be careful of them floats down there. It helps to hold this open when you're putting it on. Don't forget to realign this through that little bitty slot when you drop it back on. You don't have to snug down them screws too tight. That's probably why they're flathead, so you can only put so much torque on them. We're going to go ahead and move on to this accelerator pump real quick. Well, it's all back together. We got that new gasket in there, new accelerator pump. I tell you though, there's so many good parts. Everything was not crusty. Everything was still functional. So I'm a cheap old fool, so I'm going to hang on to some of these parts. You never know if I might need them in the future. Save me a few bucks ordering a whole $30 gasket kit just to get one or two little pieces. Anyway, this went pretty easy, pretty successful. So we'll be done for right now, and the next part we'll be putting this thing on the truck, see if it makes it do some donuts or something.